Hey lovelies, I think we should do some yoga, don't you? I think we could all use a little stretching out and breathing and feeling a little more peaceful. I know I could. So, how about you hop into some comfy clothes? They do not have to be yoga clothes, just any clothes you can move in. Should you be home in your pajamas, that will totally work. Grab a mat or a towel or what have you, and let's have some time together, okay? Come on. Hi everyone. Nice to have you here in theory, sort of, virtually anyway. As some of you know, we started a free monthly yoga class at the Surry Arts Council last month, and we were all looking forward to getting back together at the end of March, but we're not going to be able to do that now because of all the things that are going on in the world. So since we're here with all of this space and fabulous people and equipment, we thought maybe we would film a little shorter version so that you guys could practice some with me and one another at home. So let's do that. I'm going to ask you to start by coming into child's pose. So whichever child you would like. It can be with your knees closer together. It can be with your knees wide, whichever feels best to you. Wherever that is, lengthen yourself out. You want to bring your heart down, your head as close to the floor as it will comfortably go. If it doesn't feel good to reach your arms forward, you can always reach them back. So just pick the version that feels best to you, and once you get there, bring your attention to your breath. Just inhaling and exhaling. Try to let your hips grow heavy. Try to let your heart melt. Just take a few moments and just focus on breathing. I'm going to ask you to take one deep, deep breath all the way in and let it all the way out. If the hands weren't forward, go ahead and bring them forward. We're going to transition into hip circles. On your inhale, the hips will come right and forward, and on your exhale, left and back. Those hip circles can be as big or small as you want them to be. It's a creaky floor I'm on. If you hear it, that's why. Try to match the breath with the movement. And take one more in this direction. Bring yourself back to your child's pose to finish that exhale. And on the next inhale, switch to the other direction. So the hips will come left and forward on the inhale, and right and back on the exhale. On your own breath pattern, it doesn't have to match mine. One more wherever you are. And bring yourself, as you get there, back to child's pose. One more deep breath here. And letting your next inhale bring you up. And we're going to set up for hands and knees with a neutral spine. So you want to have your knees right under your hip joints, your wrists below your shoulders. You can look at your shoulders in this position to see where that is. If it doesn't feel comfortable for you to be on your palms, you can come up on your fists. Just keep your thumbs out if you do. If you are on your palms, spread those fingers and actually use them. That's going to help take a lot of the pressure that rests in the wrists out. On the inhale, let your belly drop, draw those shoulder blades down the back, tailbone lifts. And the exhale pushes through in the other direction, chin to chest, back arching up. Inhale to come through. Exhale to round. Again, on your own breath pattern. Don't have to go at the same speed that I'm going. Might be shorter, might be longer. And after you've moved through them a few times, if it would feel good to you, stay in one and hold the pose. Just don't hold your breath. Keep breathing. If you'd like to move in the other direction for a hold. If not, you can always just keep moving between the two. Taking the next breath to make your way back to a neutral spine. Nice and long tailbone all the way through the crown of the head, shoulders away from the ears. Just a little stretch for the bottoms of our feet and our toes. If you'll tuck your toes and then sort of walk your hips and hands backwards so the weight comes into those feet. Now, for some of you, this might feel absolutely horrific, so be mindful of where you are. Only go as far as feels good to you. That might be right here with the hands still down. Rock your hips from side to side. Help open up those little toes all along the bottom of the foot. If it's not intense enough, you can always bring yourself all the way up and still rock yourself from side to side. It's just more weight on the toes, more opening. If this hurts, stop clenching your jaws. That's what we do when things hurt. We tighten everything up, let it go. Soften all that up. Keep those shoulders down. Keep breathing. And then bring it back forward. Oh, yay. Walk your hands forward. We're going to come into downward facing dog. If you know that your hamstrings tend to be tight or you're just stiff and haven't been moving around a lot, the wider the knees, the softer that will be on your hamstrings. So you can set all of that up before you take the pose. Get wherever you want to be. Tuck those toes, and next inhale, lift the hips up, pressing through the palms, long through the spine. If it feels good while you're here, you can nod your head yes or shake your head no. Next inhale, we're going to lift to toes. Exhale, right heel down, left knee bends. Inhale, lift to toes. Exhale, other side. One more, inhale, lift to toes. And exhale, both heels to or towards the mat. One breath here, refine it. Draw the navel in towards the spine. Drop the shoulder blades down the back. Let the heart melt. And then on the next inhale, soften your knees, look up towards your hands, and bring yourself back down to your knees on the ground. Oh, nice. We are going to transition and bring our right leg up so the foot comes forward. So there, however you want to do that. If you can step up, you can step up. If you need to come back and step up, however you get there, it doesn't matter. Just get there. And then we want to creep that foot forward enough that when we come forward where the knee is over the ankle or behind it, not way out here, keep it here, that there's an angle between the left hip and the left knee, so it's not one on top of the other. A nice little angle there. And then just rest your torso on that bent right leg. Take a nice deep breath. Draw those shoulder blades down the back. And let your breath soften the pose. We're going to play around and see about coming up, only if you feel like it. You are welcome to stay exactly where you are if you don't feel like deepening it at all. If you do, try bringing the right palm on top of that right leg. Get your balance, engage your core, draw your navel in towards your spine, and then just see if that left hand will come up as well. Just see. If it doesn't, it's no big deal. If it does, press into your palms to draw your torso up a little bit. That is going to help you engage through your core here. It's very important to do that because we want to keep this space in our low back. We don't want any crunching here. We need a nice long spine. Your hands can stay right here. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. If you want to see about playing around with it a little more, you can reach one arm up or both arms up. Just see how it feels. If the arms are reaching up, soften those shoulders away from your ears. This, no, this, much nicer. Reach through the fingertips, deep breath in. Now we're all going to come back down. So regardless of where your hands are, we are all going to move so that they are on either side of that right foot. And we are going to exhale and press our hips and walk our hands back. We're going to move between those two things 3 times. So on the inhale, we walk up. And on the exhale, we walk back. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. One more time. Inhale, bring everything forward. Exhale it back, and this time we're gonna stay here. So, you can make sure that your hip is staying in line with the knee joint. It's not sagging out to one side or the other. Bring the fingertips, if it's not possible for you to get your palm flat, like it's not for me. Long through the spine, shoulders away from the ears. Gaze tracks down. Make sure you draw those toes back on the right foot. We would hate to miss that opportunity for a stretch. And breathe. One more nice deep breath here. Opening up that hamstring all the way down the back of the leg. Option to add a twist if you want. If you don't want, stay right here. If you do want, anchor down the left hand so it's underneath the shoulder on either the palm or the fingertips. And then shift your weight out of your right hand. See if it will reach forward. And if it does, see if it will continue that reach right up to the sky. And as you do, your torso will follow. And breathe. Next exhale, let that hand come down. Walk everything back forward. We're going to plant the palms and then let the right foot go back to meet the left. So get your hands underneath you, shift your weight forward, tuck the back toes, come up off of that knee, and then reach the right foot back to join the left. So you're in a plank pose, high plank pose. You can come down to a modified plank if you would rather. And really, who wouldn't rather, if we're being honest? Whichever one you are in, draw those shoulder blades down the back and spread your back wide. Keep those hips down. I know we like to be here because that's easier, and that's wrong, conveniently. Easier is wrong in this case. One more breath here. Nice deep breath, inhale. And let it all the way out. If your knees aren't down, bring them down. Bring yourself back. And we're going to step our left foot forward. However is the easiest way for you to get it there. So take your time. We're all going to meet there. Once you get it there, you're going to check for all the same things you did last time. You want the left knee to stay over the ankle or behind it. You don't want it going forward. You want there to be an angle between the knee and the hip on the right side. Softer on our kneecap that way. Now press into those palms or fingertips, whichever one you're in. Lengthen your spine so you're still that nice long column from your tailbone through the crown of your head. And then we're just going to play with the balance and see if those hands will come up. If they don't, it's not a problem. If they do, we're going to start with the left ones. See if the left hand will come up. And once it's there, draw that navel in towards your spine. Give your back some support. See if the right one will join it. If it does, press into those palms to bring the torso up. So you're going to engage your whole abdominal wall through here, creating a whole lot of space right there so your low back has the room that it needs. Hands can stay right here, or if you want to play around with lifting them up, you can try one at a time, or you can try both. If the hands reach up, make sure that the shoulders don't reach up entirely with them. So you want to soften those shoulder blades down the back. Keep that core lifted. Energy through your fingers. And breathe. So many things to remember. Don't forget the breathing. Regardless of where your hands are, up or on your thigh, we're going to all inhale a nice deep breath together, and then we are all going to exhale our hands down to either side of that front foot. Walk the hands and hips back, and we're going to rock and roll through those again. The inhale brings it forward. The exhale brings it back. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. One more time. Exhale it back, this time to hold. So refine your posture, make sure those shoulders are down the back, neck is long, fingertips or palms. Below the shoulders, draw the toes of the left foot back. And breathe into that stretch. All along the back of your leg. Option to add the twist only if you want to. If you want to try it, you will anchor the right hand or fingertips down. Shift the weight out of the left hand and just see first if it will track forward. And once you have your balance there, you can keep lifting it up so that it comes up towards the ceiling. Mindful that you don't have to look up, you can always look down or forward or up, whichever one feels best to your neck. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, we're going to bring that hand back down. We're going to walk our hands and hips forward again. You know where it's going this time. Get happy. So we're going to let our left foot come back and join our right foot. We're going to need to bring our weight into our palms or into our fists if that feels better to you. Tuck the back toes, come up off of that knee, and then slide or step, or really however it will get there, your left foot back to join your right. You can drop your knees down to modified if that feels better to you. Whichever option you take, just one nice long breath all the way in and all the way out. And then lowering those knees, bringing down to your palms. And we're going to keep our elbows tucked in as we lower all the way down to our belly. Take your time getting there. Once you are there, widen your legs a little bit wider than you had them in plank, and let your toes come so that the top of every toe is on the mat, which for most of us means that our heels are going to splay out, but maybe not you, so just see where that is for you. Your palms are under your shoulders. Go ahead and slide them forward so that your elbows replace your palms. So now your elbows are under your shoulders. I'm going to ask you to keep your gaze down towards the space in between your hands, or at the very furthest up, the space in between your fingers. So you want to keep your neck nice and long. Be nice to our cervical spine through here. Reach through those toes. And on your inhale, you're going to roll your shoulders forward and back, and then bring your shoulder blades down the back. Press into your forearms and feel as if you're trying to drag your heart center in between your arms. And then hold that pose while you breathe. Sphinx pose. Deep breath in. All the way out. And really all the way out in Sphinx pose, because the bottom of the pose is the deepest part of the stretch. It's a little back bend. One more long deep breath. Press through those forearms, shoulder blades down the back. And now widen those elbows. You can stack your palms one on top of the other. Bring your head down. Just relax. Just release everything down. If it would feel good to rock your hips from side to side, if any tension crept into your low back, take that movement. And take 3 more deep, deep breaths here, all the way in. And all the way out. Again, feeling your mat underneath you. Feeling how your belly presses into the floor on your inhale. And then releases away on your exhale. Bring the forehead back to center and take one breath here. Lifting the head and neck, bringing the palms below the shoulders again, and pressing yourself up into hands and knees. We're going to move to a seat, however is the easiest way for you to get to a comfortable seat. And your legs don't have to be crossed if that doesn't feel good to you. Where I want mine to be, but it might not be where you want yours to be. So whatever that looks like, so wherever your comfortable seat is, I'm going to ask you to plug your sit bones in. If you can sort of rock from side to side, or you can just lift it on up. Anything that's between your bones and the floor. So get nice and grounded in there. Let everything weight down. If it feels comfortable to you, you can close your eyes. If it doesn't, you can just sort of gaze at a point somewhere a nice fixed point. A couple of deep breaths here. Inhale everything all the way in. Nice full breath all the way into your belly. And let it all the way out. Soften those shoulders, soften your jaw, soften your gaze. One more time, nice deep breath in through the nose. And this time we're going to let it out through the mouth. One more, just like that. Deep breath in, all the way in. Fill it all up. Out through the mouth. I am going to encourage you at this moment to pause me talking to you and then lay yourself out into a shavasana that would feel delicious to you, whatever that is. It could be on your back, it could be on your side, it could be on your belly, just anywhere that you could lay out and feel nice and comfy and cozy and supported, because that's what your nervous system loves about shavasana. It loves that you're not having to hold on to anything to keep that rest going. So it's a beautiful, perfect, wonderful thing to do. If you can, pause me and take a shavasana for, however long you take it. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You could wake up tomorrow. Doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. And at the end of your shavasana, then you can hear me tell you to come to a comfortable seat. Long through your spine. Inhale, bring the palms together overhead. Exhale, lower them to heart center. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. Namaste.